it's kind of nice to have, you know, a visual reference. So if you have like a phone and then you're watching this on your iPad, or you know, you're watching this on your television, you have a picture on your phone, something like that. You know, I know it's not always, but it's pretty usual that we have extra devices in our houses these days. So especially during COVID, to keep everybody in check and all the good things. Um, but we don't need a whole lot of colors for this painting, so we need white and black is going to be the most of it. And then I use this color called sapphire blue, so I only get my colors, I just get my paints from the dollar store, Dollar Tree in Canada, but there's Dollarama. I'm sure there's all sorts of different dollar stores, and there's always like a little crafty paint section. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm not here for professional painters. This is something that we're gonna do. It's for everybody. You don't have to be a pro to make these paintings with me. We don't need to go out and buy expensive paints to paint something like this. If I'm doing like a commission piece or something like that, I would use more high quality paints, but it's just really not necessary. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm telling you, some of these craft store, like what seem to be like the cheap paints, can last a long time. I'm so happy. I cannot believe there's like almost 800 people watching this right now. That kind of is a little bit mind-blowing for me, because I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world, and I love to paint with all my friends. I have always loved painting. I've had my own gallery in Tofino, British Columbia for a few years. I have painted bodies of work. I've written and illustrated my own children's books. I've done so many things. I've played in a band. I used to gig. I gigged till I was like 8 months pregnant. And to be honest, I just never knew how much I absolutely adored teaching people and painting with people. It has brought something out of me that I didn't know I could have, and I've just been so overwhelmed with gratitude. And that's the theme for tonight, okay, guys? I'm just like so grateful that you're here with me, and I really hope that we can like let loose, have a good time, and let go of any real big expectations. I just want us to have fun. You don't have to be a good artist or a good drawer to be a good painter. And the paintings don't have to be perfect. There's a lot of beautiful paintings out there that are super expressive, and they're your own style. So I really want you to try and embrace that, okay? Especially if you're a beginner painter. Now, I'm telling you, I've been painting for 25 years, and I always get a little nervous before I start a painting. There's something very exciting about starting on a new canvas. So if you feel that, I feel you. It's totally normal. You're gonna be okay, and we're gonna get through this together, okay? So cheers to that. I hope you guys all got your sippy beverages out tonight. I have my Fisher Theater Broadway in Detroit sippy cup, and it has a little whiskey in it. And then I don't know what you're using as a water vessel, but when it's a red Solo cup, there's something really inviting about it that you don't recognize while you're painting, and your hand just goes for it, and glug, 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 you're drinking paint water. So I always suggest to keep them separate. Drink cup over here, water cup over here, all good. I have a clean plate for my paints here. And like I said, I'll go through the paints. I have a lot of white. This is a sapphire blue, and you can use cobalt blue. And I actually saw a post from somebody saying like they wanted to use some purples or whatever. Guys, this is your painting. And like the great Bob Ross once said, this is your world. So if you want to add some more colors in here, if you want to do green trees instead of black trees, if you want to throw some extra colors in your sky, honestly, just go for it. Don't be afraid. Be brave. You can do it. And then I got some red. So white, black, blue, and red. This is simple today. You don't have to squirt a whole lot of paints on your palette to start. Here. I'm just going to put a lot of white because, like I said, we're going to be using a lot of white. and we're going to be mixing it. So I put my white here, and I'm going to put a little bit of black over in the corner over here. And then in the center of that, we're going to add a little bit of gray. I'm just going to wait till later to put my red on my palette. So this is what my palette looks like right now. Okay, we got some white and black and a little bit of blue going on there. And then I'm going to use this center area to kind of feed from my black and white, and we're going to start creating our sky. We are going to be doing a little bit of paint splattering as well, so if you're wearing something that you like, maybe you should change it really quick. Might be a good idea. And then as for brushes, I have my 3/4 inch Fatty McFatterson flat brush here. Where is that? There we go. And I just get these brushes at the dollar store, but I know since COVID, the dollar store is slim pickings. It's all about the shape of the brush. You know, you can get beautiful brushes, but these are perfectly great, and they were like $1.25 for a pack. This is a 1/2 inch flat brush. I gotta get my direction going on here, which is like the smaller version of this brush. And then I always have a liner brush too. So I have a long skinny brush and just a little liner brush, just in case I need a little extra detail in there. And I think that's it. We're gonna get this party started, and it's so exciting. So this is what my palette looks like right now, guys. And just to let you know, sometimes we don't need water on our brushes, but sometimes it's kind of nice to like lube up your brush a little bit. So I'm just gonna dip my big old brush. So we're using our big fat brush, okay? I put a little water on there. I give it a little tap on my palette, okay? And we're gonna start with just straight white, okay? So I'm here, I'm gonna take a nice little scoop of white. I know it seems weird to put white on a white canvas, but it just gets the flow going, okay? A little bit of water, a little bit of white, all good. And we're gonna start making an arcing motion right in the middle here. So straight in the center, just and I'm just gonna go back and forth like this a few times. And as I'm moving out, I'm gonna slowly and steadily start to make a little bit of gray. So I'm just gonna bring a little tiny corner of black here into the center, and I'm just gonna make a little pool of gray here. And it's not a whole lot. We can always add more later. This is just to kind of keep up the pace and just to start changing the color a little bit. So I have this arcing white that you can't see on my canvas right now, and taking a little bit of gray, I'm just gonna start to go back and forth. So the key to getting really beautiful blends on your canvas is all about stamina, okay? So the more you can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, hundreds and hundreds of times, the better blends you're gonna get. Luckily for this painting, it's really streaky, so we don't have to blend it. We don't have to go and overblend anything. Yes, it's very gray. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another little scoop of white, and I'm just gonna start to alternate. So I'll put a little white, then I'll take a little bit of that gray, and I'm just taking, you can see how my paintbrush is kind of marbled on there. I have a little bit of white, a little bit of gray, and I'm just gonna start moving on up to the top of my canvas. No, I'm not gonna stop. I just really like to make up random songs too. So this is just getting the flow going. And like I said, we're gonna start to kind of alternate colors a little bit. So as we start moving up, you can just put a little white on there, even grab a little touch of blue now, okay? A little touch of blue, and we're just gonna bring that blue in, and we're gonna continue to work our brush back and forth. At any time, if it seems like your brush is really draggy or not going on very nicely, just dip it in your water. I got some water on there. Tap it on your palette. But basically, this whole background, we're gonna be taking a little bit of white and maybe a little black or a little bit of blue, and we're just gonna alternate these colors and just keep making an arcing motion. So you can see I'm making nice long brush strokes back and forth, back and forth. Then I'm going to take a little more gray, back and forth. It's wonky at first because I'm in a very wonky position right now. But as we move up, I'm going to start to add a little bit more black in. So I'll take a little white and I'm going to add a little corner of black to my brush. Okay. And then I'm going to start darkening up this area here. So you can see it starts to get a little bit darker, and you just move back and forth. And then I'm going to get a little darker. Now, guys, no matter what color you're going to put in the background at any time, it's going to look fine, okay? So just kind of take a deep breath and get in the flow of things and feel it out. This is your painting. So if you want the background to be a little bit more blue oriented, or maybe you chose a different color, maybe you went with purple, honestly, just go for it. We're like not trying to impress anybody here. This is just to have fun. And you can see now I'm trying to get from one side of the canvas all the way to the other, okay? So I'm going back and forth and back and forth. And then as I start to move out towards those edges, I'm just gonna darken it up a little bit more. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit more black. And just to be safe, because black like literally takes over everything, I'm gonna start in the corner and I'm gonna work that dark down back into this area here, just so that it doesn't go crazy and, you know, make everything black, because that's what happens. And just to remind everybody, this isn't all going to happen in one fell swoop either. We're going to be giving this a couple different goes here. So be patient. Just taking a little bit more black. I'm going to start over in this corner over here and shoo, 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 shoo. Now my brush is really dry. I can feel the dryness over here. So I'm just going to dip in my cup, put a little water on there. Whenever I put water in on my brush, I always tap it on my palette after, just to be safe, because I don't want it to drip down my canvas. Okay. So we're just continuing to go back and forth in that same arcing motion, back and forth. Now we want it to be a little bit of a darker scene. So it's okay to bring a little bit more black streakies down. Now that we have that home base there, we can start to bring a few extra streaks down into our painting. I'm just tapping this. And also, since, you know, we're in the mode of it, man, my arm's on fire from doing this. So I'm just going to continue to add a little bit of black, and I'm going to start to let my brush streak it out a little bit. So it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. If you're sitting, it's all in the hips of your mind. It's all in the hips of your mind. Okay. So you can see here, it's starting to darken up from the edges towards the center. I'm going to make sure I get this focus in here. Let me get this go. Leah can't hear me. Can anybody hear me? Can you guys hear me here? Let me know. Like I said, I'm using a new camera setup, so this is making me a little bit nervous right now, okay? I'm just gonna keep going back and forth. And as I start to move back towards the center, I'm just gonna make a few extra streaks, and I can go back into my sky. I can take like a corner of blue and add some extra blue streakies in there. Okay. Back and forth. Back and forth. Here we go. Just gonna get that down in there. All right. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you for letting me know. That's really nice. I appreciate your input. Okay, cool. I know it doesn't look super amazing, doesn't it? Does it? Let's see here if I can get this to look a little better. I'm gonna try. Can you get this focused in here, camera? Get this focused. Okay, Cheryl, thank you. Deb can hear me watching today. You'll do it another day. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Deb. That does not sound great. Okay. So unfortunately, guys, I'm so sorry if the feed isn't like super amazing or perfect. I hope you can get the gist of it for now. I am a little bit nervous about changing my device right in the middle of this. I don't really want to do that, but if it's totally necessary, I will. Now, I'm not sure what the replay is going to look like. Hopefully it's better than what you guys are seeing, but I'm also going to have a high definition replay of this as well, if it all works out in my favor. Okay, so let me know if you guys, okay, that's good to know, guys. Okay, you know, maybe I don't know how the internet works these days. I'm glad it's working for some of you. I'm sorry if it's not working amazingly for everybody. So I have a really good base down here, but as I can, like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, you know, there's like a few dry spots in here. I want my corners to be a little bit darker because I do want this to be more of a night scene. So what I'm gonna do is just a little bit of paint at the time. Like I said, it's a really streaky background in this painting, so I have the opportunity to go back in and kind of put a few extra streaks in there. So I got my paints here. I'm gonna put a little bit of water on my brush and again, dab it on my palette. I'm just gonna start with like a little bit of black here, and I'm just gonna swoosh a little extra in the corner over here. Oh, got a little drippies. And I just put a tiny little bit on there because black is so tricky like that. It can really take over really fast, and it can take over a lot. So I'm totally just gonna do a little bit at a time, but I always start in the corners and work my way out. That way there, I'm not gonna lose that light spot in the middle of my painting. And we can just gently go down into this area. And like I said, we can add little bits of blue. You can add little extra streaks of white, but I'm doing very gentle with my paintbrush, very, very gentle. I've got just a tap, tap, taparoo, little tiny tap of paint, and then I can gently streak it into the background of my painting. And I'm just still going in that same direction, back and forth. I can take extra white and swoop that in there until you're happy with the background. So just keep working on it just for a minute. We'll make it all look really pretty. Like I said, I'm kind of in a little bit of an awkward position. That's okay. I'm gonna just make this keep going back and forth, work those arm muscles. You can feel it in my biceps. My arms are killing me. And then when this painting's done, I know you're gonna wanna hang it on your living room wall. So you can also do this right now. You can paint the sides of your canvas if you're using canvas. If you're using anything else like a flat board, then you don't have to do that. And I'm just gonna keep moving my way down. And yeah, I feel like I'm happy with that. Now, you guys, okay. It makes me sad that this isn't working out really good for everybody, but I'm really sorry. I really want it to. I really, really want it to. Let me just adjust, maybe in a little bit of adjustment. I'm gonna use my hands to try. Okay, come on, there we go. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see the Happy Gilmore reference. Thank you. That makes me incredibly happy. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! Okay, I just want to get the focus in on this painting. Come on. Hello. Come on, camera, focus in on me. No? All right. So, oh, I have an incoming. Hi, babe. Are you saying goodnight? Mm-hmm. Okay. Like a painting. Oh, thank you. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Mm-hmm. You have to gently come around this way because I'm all really stuck in here. Okay. So, my daughter Story wants to say goodnight, everybody. Here we go. Say goodnight. Good night. Look in this camera over here. Say good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Okay. So yeah, guys, good night. I love you too. Perfect. Nice work. So guys, yeah, there is going to be a replay. The replay is going to be up for a week. I'm kind of going to do a little bit of a new format. So I think I'm going to leave my replays up for a week, and then there'll be a high definition version of the painting available for $5 too, if you feel so inclined. Now, listen, we have finished the first part. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are just killing me. And if they do, grab a shoe and beat them till they're black and blue. I love you, I said to my daughter every single night. That's awesome. Okay, guys, it's contest time. So get your fingers ready to answer this incredible Christmas trivia. Okay, are you guys ready? All right. So, like I said, the first person I see answer this question correctly on my news feed or on my comment feed here is going to win a $15 gift code. And to claim it, you have to send a picture of you and your painting, you holding your painting at the end of this, and I will send you the special code. Okay? Sound good? All right. Here is the question. What movie is based around Xmas is what I wrote down. Okay. What movie is based around Christmas but features creatures that you cannot feed after midnight? What movie is based around Christmas but features creatures that you cannot feed after midnight? First answer, go. What is it? I'm so excited. Okay, guys, let me see those answers. Sandy Ross, you got it. Grimoines from Michelle. Okay, yeah, Sandy Ross is the winner. I'm gonna write that down. And Sandy, you are going to get a gift code if you send me your picture after this is done. Gremlins. Sandy Ross. You are the winner. Yay! Nice work. Good times. Okay, guys. So, next up, we're going to start to paint some hills in here. Okay, so we have our background done. We're going to get some snowy action going on down here. So I have rinsed my brush. Michelle, I really liked Grimoines. That was really awesome. Okay. So what we're gonna do now this is where you can get into the flow, and it's the same as the top, only we're using a different direction, but we're gonna let our paints kind of come together and just have fun with this, all right? So I'm gonna start with a big old scoop of white paint. All right, we got the white going on there. And I'm gonna make a hill. Shh. So wherever my paint ended on the ends of my rainbows here, wherever the arcing was, I'm just kind of cruising across. You might even pick up some of those grays and stuff. That's perfect. And then I'm gonna start to go back and forth. And then every once in a while, I'm just gonna grab a little scoop of black, not too much, just a little bit, and mix it in and let my brush kind of make some snowy hills. Grab a little bit more white. I'm gonna cruise back and forth. See, I'm just kind of going back and forth, and I'm making kind of like a hillscape. So up and over, back and forth, grab a little blue, and we're just filling in this bottom area. Now we want it to be a little bit gray and a little bit more blue with the white mixed in, because we want our truck to show up, because we're going to be putting our truck on white to start. So make sure you have at least a little bit of contrast in your snowy hill landscape here, so that when we paint our truck on white, we'll be able to actually see it. So you can see I'm going back and forth and just kind of letting some of those nice little gray highlights work their way in there. Just using a tiny little bit of black goes a long way. And start cruising down to the bottom here. Now adding a little bit of water to your brush will actually help a lot. So I have a little bit of water, just tap it on my palette, and that'll keep our paint a little bit more thin too, so it doesn't get all like globby and goobery and stuff. Oh my goodness, Jody D. Lynn Brown, you've never seen Gremlins? What? That's crazy. That is just craziness. All right, so you can see here, I'm just continuing to cruise back and forth, filling in this area. And then down at the bottom, I want to get a little bit more of an arcing motion. So just grabbing some of those colors, I'm just like wafting my brush here, grab a little bit of this, grab a little bit of that. And I'm just gonna, right from this point, just start to kind of swoop in an opposite direction down here, just to give it a little bit more dimension, just some more movement in my painting, back and forth. Fill in any cracks. So if you get any dry spots, just grab a little extra paint or put a little water on your brush, tap it on your in your paint, and fill in those spots a little bit. Never heard of Gremlins, Nicole. What? Me neither. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that was a good question then. I'm glad. I'm glad. So congratulations to Sandy Ross. Just make sure you send me a picture of your painting when you are done. All right. Fun. Okay, guys, so just keep working on that. There's lots of time to kind of fix up some areas later. Like I said, we're going to be putting our truck right in this area here. So it's nice to have a few different contrasting hues, like even if you put a little, if you put a little extra black in there and kind of smooth it out. It's kind of fun to have these like snowy hills. We're going to be adding a little bit more to those later. But if you have any big paint globs, just move those bad boys around. We don't want it to be like crazy painty, so even if you add a little bit of water to your brush just to move it around, that's going to really help as well. And then from that point there, I'm just going to give my brush a rinse. So I got my red Solo cup here. I just like to give my brush a little push on the bottom just to loosen up whatever paint got in the top area. And then I give it a nice, a good dry off on my napkin. Just kind of get off some of that excess paint. Hermione, I try and keep my paint parties to about 2 hours max. Is generally the case. Sometimes they're less, sometimes, very rarely, they're more than that. But about 2 hours is the average. At least, like, in general. But usually it's a little less than that. All right, guys, so what I would love from you is when you're ready to move on to the next step, just give me a thumbs up when you're feeling good about, you know, your dark arcing sky and your snow. Give me a thumbs uppins, and we can start to put some trees on, which is really exciting. I love putting trees on there. Anyways, so while you guys are finishing up, I'm just gonna let you know about a few things I got going on here. So if you don't end up winning a $15 gift code today, just gonna take that. If you don't end up winning one, I'm giving away a discount code that you can use to take $5 off any of my parties these days. Oh yeah, sweet. I got some thumbs uppins. That makes me super happy. So I'm just gonna copy and paste the discount code in the comments right now. Is that even right? No, that's not even right, Julie. Come on, it's Let's Party. Don't disregard this. Can I erase that? I'm just gonna put no. No, that is not it. No. Okay. Oh man. Let's see here. So you can use this discount code to take off $5. Let's Party from any of my upcoming parties or any of my tutorials that I have there. And somebody asked me earlier about my membership. So basically all of my parties now are going to be, any party that's a paid party is $10. And I usually do 3 of those a month, 2 or 3. And I also have free parties as well. But with my membership, you get a high definition tutorial once a month, plus 2 or 3 live parties, sometimes even more. And it's $20 a month to get everything. And you always have access to all the parties. You can just go to juliespaintparty.com/membership. It's $10 a party, or for $20 you can get everything. That's all right. It works. My members seem to like it, and it's really nice. We're starting to really get to know each other, and it's really fun. So that's something that you can explore as well. So discount code and membership are up there. Awesome. I'm getting tons of thumbs ups. So I'll give you guys one more minute, and then we can start to put some trees on. The tree is on. The tree is on. Cool. Looks like everybody's good to go. Awesome. You guys are killing it. Killing it. So I cleaned off my big old brush here, and I'm gonna get this big old brush ready for some trees. Now, I have this habit whenever I want to put anything skinny, especially with my big old brush on, I rinse it in my cup, and then I take my fingers and I smoosh it. Okay, so I'm just smooshing my brush so that when I look at it from the side, it's nice and thin. All right, it looks good. Oh, Nadine says wait, okay. That's okay. So I like to smoosh my brush and make sure it's nice and thin, because then I use that nice sharpened brush to put on little lines, and then I use that same brush to make the trees. Mariah, could I do a painting with the Milky Way sometime? Yes, I could. I have a couple galaxy paintings that I like to do. Every time you sing, we take a sip. Nice, Chris. That's a sweet game. How fun. I like that game. I'm going to take a drink. Cheers. I'll drink to my singing. White snow, blue snow, watch out for the yellow snow. True dat, Token Jim. True dat. Okay, so let's get some trees on here. Let's start to make this a wintry, awesome, foresty wonderland. So I have my brush, I thinned it out. I'm gonna take my black, and I'm still gonna keep my brush nice and thin because I'm gonna pull it back and forth to make it nice and sharp on my palette. So still, when I look at it from the side, it's still nice and thin. Kelly, that's a good question. I'm sure there is. This is called a flat brush because it's just got a flat top on it. A wash brush, I'm not really sure. I am definitely not super seasoned in my brush names. I just call this guy Fatty McFatterson. But I find that using, you can get a lot of versatility out of a nice flathead brush. And I'm sure there's lots of brushes that have other purposes. But anything I do, I'm always using a flathead or a liner brush, just because you can do so much with them. You have a great husband, June. June's husband is painting the painting for her. That's great. Okay, so you can start this on either side, on any side you want. And what I like to do is I start with a line, and then I'll tip tap my way down to make a tree. And we're gonna do all our trees in black to start, and then we can add some white on top to put the snow afterwards, okay? So I'm gonna start with the tallest tree over on the side here, just putting my brush straight on the canvas, and I'm gonna pull down. It doesn't even have to go all the way to the snow because we're gonna be covering a lot of that stick up. It's just nice to have a guideline for our pine tree, okay? And then using the very, very tippy end right at the top, I'm just gonna use this little corner. I'm just gonna start to tap just a little bit. And just remember, trees can look so many different ways. I've painted so many trees with so many different people. And I promise you, everybody's trees look totally different. I can show you how to make a tree, no problem. But everybody does their trees differently. And guess what? They all look like trees in the end. Okay? So, with that said, I'm just using the tip of my brush, and I start really small at the top. Here, I'll bring it in just really for a second there. Okay, so I start really small at the top, and I just start to push back and forth with my brush, and I just get a little bit bigger. And as I move down, I start to use more and more of my brush. And the more I use my brush, the more the bristles start to separate. So it ends up getting these little pine needly extra little pieces of paint that kind of pop out the sides. And I bring it back and forth. And you know, when you're doing this, I always end with just like the tip of my brush at the end, so there's some nice points on the end. And there's so many different ways to make trees. So this is one way. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, taparoo. And these are all getting covered up with snow later too, so let's remember that as well. We're just making the basic shape of our trees right now. Tree number 1. So this is what my tree looks like. In there. Let's make sure it's all good. And then I'm gonna do that again. So I make sure that my brush is nice and thin, back and forth, always sharpening my brush back and forth. And then I'm gonna make this next tree a little lower. So just still kind of on an angle, and it's okay if they overlap. And then I use just the very tippy corner of my brush and I gently dab back and forth so lightly until I start to move down a little bit. And then I get a little bit wider, and then you can flip your brush over because there's more paint on this side. And just keep tap, tap, tap. So you can see I'm tap, 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 tap. That's how many times I'm tapping. Tap, 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 tap. And honestly, you can make these, your branches kind of point up or down or side to side. There can be gaps in the tree. There's so many different shaped pine trees. And then I bring it down just a little bit there. And again, so back, forth, really get my brush nice and sharpened there. I'm gonna make another tree. So I'm gonna make 3 trees to start. And then I'm gonna go and do the same thing on the other side. So sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. Now, if your brush is getting too full, just give it a rinse. And then go back into your paint, squish it again with your fingers, give it a squishy squish. And then start fresh. It's nice to have a fresh paintbrush. So doing the same thing over here, I'm gonna and honestly, guys, it makes me feel so much better when I make sound effects. So don't be afraid to swoosh. Don't be afraid to tip, 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 tap, tip, taparoo, okay? We're just tapping it in here. Just tip, tap, tiparoo, ski, back and forth. So I have to say, I know you guys are, it's funny because this is the most people I've ever had on a live feed before. And of course, it's the first time I use this new webcam that I have. And to be honest, I'm not overly excited about it. I can see that it's not the clearest, and I thought it would be a lot better than what it is. So I just have to apologize in advance. And I'm learning my lesson right now because I always use my phone to do this. But I really wanted to use my phone to like actually record this really well. So it's all learning, right? I'm trying to not feel too bad about how the actual live feed is looking right now. Just know that I'm gonna fix it for next time. It's a little late to fix it now. Okay. Trees up the wazoo skis. We're getting it on there. And I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. Now this side, I'm gonna just switch it up. I'm gonna make a taller tree instead of them going down all in the same direction. It's fun to kind of, you know, change up the landscape a little bit. And as I push more and more, my bristles on my brush start to kind of separate a little bit. And that's when you get those really special, great little markings in your tree. Not that that really matters because we're going to be covering it up with white snow anyways. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And I'm going to put this tree on here. And once these trees are on, we're going to give our brush, our big brush, a rest. And we're going to move down to our smaller brush so that we can start mapping out where our truck is going to live. Okay? So, oh yeah. Sorry, Hermione. Yeah, let's see here. I am going to, I'll make one more tree And I'll try and do it a little bit closer up here for you guys, okay? So here we go. Just gonna get my brush nice and flattened out. Let's see here. So I'm gonna make just a little guy right here. And right up here, this is a little wonky, but I'm gonna just tip tap from the side. And as I move down, see if I can get a good angle on this. I'm just gonna gently tap from side to side. And I just let my brush do the work. All you gotta do is tap. Tap and decide if you're gonna put like a lot of branches or a few branches. But like I said, the more you tap, the more the bristles on your brush start to separate a little bit. And the more they make like really unique little branch marks. So like I said, really, really gently at the top, I really just use the very tippy corner of my brush. And as I work my brush down, the more I push, the more I tap my brush, you can see the more the bristles on my brush start to separate a little bit. And that little bit of separation in those bristles start to create really kind of unique little branches. And you kind of just gotta go with it. You just gotta be adventurous, and you can, and as you move down, you can start to push a little bit harder, and then you can really see like my brush, the separation there, it starts to kind of move around there. See the separation? I wonder if I can get a, there. Oh good, I can definitely slow down for a minute, Claudia, no problem. Let me know how you guys are doing. Are you feeling good about your painting so far? How's this all going for you? Keep me in the loop, y'all. Cool, Hermione, that's awesome. I'm glad you got it. Yay, success. Haha. Yeah, just take your time, make those trees. I've made like thousands of trees. So, Lorianne, that's okay. Yeah, it'll be up for the next week. You can totally watch the replay over the next few days for sure. It's so hard to paint and drink and eat chicken wings all at the same time. Man, that sounds hard, Renee. They are happy trees. Yay. Yeah, Diane, take your time. Catch up. It's all good. We can take our time on this one. No problem. We are going to put the tree in the truck after, Liz. We are going to put the tree in the truck after. So that's why I'm stopping here. We're going to like make space for our truck. It might end up kind of covering up some of the black areas, but we're actually making our whole truck in white first so that we can map it out. I don't like to, like, especially objects like trucks, they can be a little finicky, right? So we want to make sure it looks good. So we're going to do the whole thing in white, and white's like really easy to cover up. So, and you can really play with the proportions and stuff with your white to start. So it's all good. Oh, that's so good. Cheers, friends. Members get access to all the videos all the time, Cassie. So they'll have access to the free videos after a week. They get access to all of my live paid parties and all the free parties, and then they get all the replays, everything. Everything. Nice, Amy. Upside down. Oh, you turn me inside out, out, round and round. Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? I just had an epiphany. I forgot about the brown. I didn't even I like didn't even put it in my shelf here. So catch up on the trees for a second. I just realized I didn't put that in my truck. It's like, this is like my 50th party doing this, and because I decided to try out a new setup, I'm so nervous and I forget things. So, okay, cool. FBI ink blots. Oh, that's nice, Mary. Her dog and her cat are watching her paint. Oh, Alyssa, that's okay. We get an extra go at our trees because we're gonna put snow on them anyway, so it's all good. Has a sip. Thank you, Jamie. My goal is to get you nice and toasty by the end of this party. Okay, so we have some white on our palette already. If you don't have enough, just squirt a little extra on there. Oh, and we are also going to move down to our smaller brush here. I don't think I turned the volume off on this good enough. It's got a big old ding. I don't even know how to turn my iPad on. There we go. So let's see here. There you go. So the next step, we're going to use our medium flat brush here. This is a 1/2 inch brush. It's just a little smaller than our big old brush. And I like to use this brush, and we're just going to start by mapping out the space for our truck. Okay, and we're just going to do it all in white to start. So no worries. There's not a whole lot of, they're just really basic shapes, so it's all good. Basic shapes to start, okay? It's gonna be totally fine, I promise. So we're gonna decide where our truck lives. Now, I want my wheels to end about here. You know, it can be just around the horizon line is where we want our truck to live here. We want the window to be like in this space up here. So, you know, maybe I'll keep the trunk just above this line here, bring it down. It's all going to be different for everybody, but the shape is the same, okay? So, got my brush here. I'm going to fill it up with some white paint, and I myself am going to take a big, deep breath because I trust that I am capable of making a rectangle with this brush, okay? That's all we're gonna do to start. We're just gonna make a simple rectangle. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, well, I hope so, because we're doing it. Now, I want my truck to be in between these trees. So this is a really good map up of how big our trees or how big our truck is going to be. If for some reason it goes over the trees, that is totally fine. No worries at all. Okay. So let's just decide where it's going to live. So I'm going to start by making a line. Where's my truck going to live? Here, maybe about 2 inches. And then this might be a little bit hard to see on your end just because it is going to be in white to start. I'm going to make a nice big rectangle. And I just want to remind everybody too, okay, we're not going for perfect, we're going for done, okay? This is just to have a good time. And to be honest, some of my favorite paintings look a little wonky. So I really love the expressive quality that you can get from painting. So if your truck isn't like, doesn't have like perfect lines, like mine's not gonna have perfect lines, I just want you to know that it's okay, and you can be okay with it. These parties are actually really, really good for perfectionists because it makes you have to like let go. So right now, I'm just putting a rectangle on. If you need to add a little bit of water into your paint just to kind of help it smooth out a little bit, because we don't want it to be super duper thick on there, it might be nice to give your paint like a little extra water. So my water's a little dark and black, but that's fine. I put a little dot of it in here. Sure, it grays it up a little bit, but whatever. It also helps my brush move very smoothly on the canvas. So I like that. I like it smooth. I like it smooth and silky. So, like I said, we're just making a big old rectangle, filling it in with white. You can see it doesn't all happen in one fell swoop. You gotta kind of just make sure that your proportions are right. And yes, the truck is not rectangular. We will put the front on it. I'm gonna make it a little bit longer, but we are coloring it all in red, so it doesn't have to be perfectly filled in either. We're just making space so that we know where our truck's gonna live and we have the proper proportions for it before we go ahead and go making it all red and, you know. All right, so we got a rectangle there. And the front of our truck has a little curve to it. So right at the edge of this rectangle, I'm just gonna shoot out and make a rounded front. So right here, I'm gonna go, I've made a straight line down, but I'm gonna curve out from the side and bring it right down in alignment with the bottom here. Is it perfect? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, this is the brush I'm using here. So this is a 1/2 inch flat brush. Let's see if I can get a little better zoom on this. I'm all locked out there. I don't know if that's gonna work. Come on, zoom in there, brushy. So 1/2 inch flat brush, white paint, put a little water in it to keep it nice and loose. It'll go smoothly over our background. And then I'm gonna move that paint around a little bit because I don't want it to take forever to dry either. So make sure it's not super gloppy on there either. Just move it around, make sure that it's, even if you put like a little extra water on there, just to kind of loosen it up and move that paint around a little bit more, that's good. And then we're also going to have 2 spots where the wheels live. Now, this seems a little counterproductive, but I like to do this part just so my brain knows. I work, you know, our brains get in our way sometimes, so I like to make it happy every once in a while. So I'm just going to map out where the wheels are. So right at the back end here, there's going to be a little bump there with the wheel well that goes around this way. So you can just barely see it, but at least our brain knows that it lives there now. Okay, so I got a little lumpy here, and then it swoops around. It's about the same size as my brush here in a little rainbow motion, and then I make another little bump on the end here. So our one wheel is going to live there. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to put a little, where's my other wheel going to live? Right here. So a little lumpy on the bottom, cruising over. Shh. Try and make it the same size as the other one. And obviously we're going to be painting these later, but this is just for our brains. Like, so now we know where our wheels are gonna live. So now I know I need to extend the front of my truck a little bit just to make sure there's enough space there. Maybe give it a little bit more curve. There we go. Looks like the bottom of a bus. Yeah, we're all over the place in time zones today, aren't we, guys? We are all over the place. And then for the little cab on top, we're actually just going to color the whole thing white to start as well. We're not going to worry about what we see through the background there. So I'm going to grab more white, and then about halfway. So it's like almost touching, almost in alignment with this back wheel here. I'm going to take my brush, I'll go up to this area about right here. So it's just a little bit past this wheel. I'm going to make a line up, and then I'm going to make a line over. And this is where my truck cab's going to be. Just color it in all white. So I know, it looks a little funny right now. But this way, you know you can get your proportions right without really messing anything up, right? Because since it's in white, you could tell there's so many ways we can fix it up and make it work for us before we go full red. And then, yeah, then you have the opportunity, you can, you know, maybe lift up the front bumper a little bit, extend the cab. You can make it, I'm going to box it off a little bit more instead of making it so round up here. Just take a step back, take a look, and I mean, it's not red yet. It's hard to kind of really get a vision, but you do. You get a vision of what it's supposed to look like. I make it look easy, Missy. You can do it, I promise. So just take your time. There's no rush here, okay? We're just making it happen. You can see it just one little step at a time. So all I did was I made a rectangle, and then I took the end of that rectangle and I made a rounded bumper on the front. And then I just make two little spots where my wheels are going to live, and those are going to get fixed up later and colored in red. Everything's going to get colored in red except for the window. And then this is where my little cab is. So yeah, that looks all right. And then we can put wheels in later and stuff. So while you guys are working on that, Alyssa, are you being funny? She says, this is the truck's the best part of my painting so far. Yes. Okay, but it's coming together, right? Cool, Kathy. That's cool. Well, thanks for popping in. That's awesome. So I think it's time that maybe we do another giveaway. Sandy Ross won our last one. So get ready for your quick answers. Okay. I'm gonna take a little sip of my whiskey here. Excuse me, Jose says, my sister put her trees in a little too low and thinks she won't have enough room. You can put your trees wherever you want, guys. Even if your truck covers up some of your trees, even if you pick up some of the black that's on there, the truck is basically just a few inches in from each side. So I got about 3 3 or 4 inches on each side towards the center. I feel like my truck here might be a little smaller than my original, but it's okay. All right. Oh, Barb says yes, so that means that she's ready for the trivia quiz. Okay. So guys, get your text in hands ready. I'm going to tell you or ask you the second question for our Christmas trivia. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Trivia question number 2. What is the name of the main character in the movie Home Alone? What is the name of the main character, the kid, in the movie Home Alone? Whoever answers that first will win a $15 gift code. Yes. But you have to send me your painting, a picture of your painting when you're done to get that code. I want a full name, first and last name. Sorry, first and last name. I see a lot of Kevins. You got the first one right. I need a full name. What is Kevin's last name? And I want the full name. Okay. Oh, there it is. Rayanne Scratch. Got it. Kevin McAllister. Nice work, Ray. Woohoo! All right, I'm just gonna write your name down there. Where did you go? Never seen Home Alone. What? Ray and Scratch. All right, Rayanne. You better send me a picture of your painting when you're done with you attached. I want to see your face and the painting so I can give you that code. I cannot believe, Alyssa, that you've never seen Home Alone. Well, you are missing out, my friend, because I watched that. I already watched it this year. Oh, I'm sorry, Cynthia. Tara Roy, you wrote it first? I saw Rayanne first. Let me look back at this. Kevin McAllister. No, I see lots of Kevins. Kevin McAllister. Rayanne, you're the first one. I wanted the full name. Okay. Well, I'm sorry guys if you're losing your sound. Sorry if I'm glitching. I'm sorry. It's because I live in the deep south. I live in the deep south of Essex County and they have yet to get us fiber optic internet. So I apologize about that, guys. It's not the best. But guess what? Our super fun part is coming up. So if you have clothes on that you like, please put on some sort of protection. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that really quick. I'm gonna go get some protection. All right. So I have my my Julie's Paint Party apron here, and I'm gonna put that on. And I hope you guys are ready to do some paint splatters because it's gonna get crazy. Better glitching than bitching. I agree, Token Jim. I agree. Jackie, can you hear me from your house? Oh, that's amazing, Jamie. That's exciting. Maybe the closer you live, the better it is. I'm not sure. I don't know how the internet works these days. Okay, guys, so you're gonna need 2 brushes for this next part. Okay, I got my big old brush here, and I have my small brush here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of white paint on our brush, and we're gonna tap. And there's different ways to make paint splatters. You could use a toothbrush, you could use your fingers and kind of flick the paint on there, but I really like the tap-a-rooskies. Okay, so I put a little bit of water on my brush. So I got my brush here. I'm going to put a little bit of water on it. So I got a little bit of water, and I'm going to take just a little bit of white. Not a lot. I like to start with a very little amount. Not too much water, not too much paint. Just a nice little mixture here, okay? Keep it chill. I got it. So this is what my brush looks like. Okay. And I'm gonna put my other brush out like here. So this is my wapping stick. So I got a good hold on my wapping stick, and then I'm gonna smash my brush like this on my wapping stick. Okay, so I'm gonna just start really giving her. And yes, the paint is gonna splash back at you a little bit and maybe get on the trees. Now you can get really specific and get in there and give some good taps. This really helps you get the aggression out. And I'm just gonna keep making beautiful snow squally sky. So this truck looks like it's like stuck in a blizzard. Totally, what's it called? National Lampoon styles. They're like out in the middle of nowhere with a big tree in their trunk, and they're gonna get stuck in the snow. So the more you tap, the more snow you get. I'm really reefing on this thing right now. It's getting all over the place. I'm covered. I'm totally covered in paint right now. So do it as you will. I think that's good. I think that's good. Good. I'm glad. I got paint all over my face right now. That's fun. That's fun. I love doing that. Oh my goodness. Heather Rupert, it's Fatty McFatterson. And yes, not, what is it? What'd you call it? Fatty McFat Fatter. Oh, Liz, that sucks. I'm sorry. The storm. Did you actually have a storm? No, it's not, what does she say? Globby? No, not globby. So that's why I always say, like, start small, like start with a little bit of paint on your brush and then kind of go from there. I got it all over the place. I got to give my iPad a wipe. It's literally all over it. That's not a good thing. Oh, it's a typo. Sorry, I'm just wiping my thing off here because I got it all over the place. Hopefully I didn't get on the camera just a little bit. All right. Not too bad. Yay. Yeah, it really lets the aggression out, doesn't it, guys? I agree. Best part of my day. Whapping your whapping stick. That whapping stick, that whapping, it really, really makes a difference in the day, doesn't it? Okay. So now that we know where our truck is actually going to live, we can add a couple more trees in there too. Just to let you know, like my truck and trees. So my trees are a little bit higher than my original painting, and my truck's a little bit lower. And that's just kind of something that happens. Honestly, I just go with the flow. It's not something that I don't really fret about it. If my painting doesn't look exactly like my other one, what are you gonna do? Just work with what you got. It's fine, totally fine. So with that said, once that wapping's all done, I'm just gonna add a few extra trees just to fill in this area right here. So I got my big Fatty McFatterson brush again. I'm gonna go in and sharpen it up, get some nice good paint on there. And I'm just gonna make a few extra little trees. So I'm gonna make another guy just kicking right here. Really quick, and like I said, you know, we're gonna be putting snow right on top of all these guys. Now I'm just gonna try and not get it in my truck. And I might just try and keep it on the outskirts of my truck here. And then I'm gonna put one more. No, we're gonna have the big tree in there anyway, so yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it. That's all good. That's funny. Should have moved your phone back. I know, Jim. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got mine all over the place too. Your finger worked better, Dixie. That makes sense. That makes sense. You know, it's all for fun. You have paintbrushes literally flying. That's so funny. Oh, guys, this is so much fun. Okay. Okay. So, we did our whapping and we have our trees on there now. So like if you feel like you want to add a couple extra trees, please do so. And let me just do one of these. My truck's pretty dry right now, so we can just give it a couple more minutes. I'll just let you guys know a couple more things that are going on. You like getting messy, Ainsley? That's so funny. You guys are killing me right now. Okay, so awesome. All right. So guys, I know a lot of you are new to me and you haven't really met me before. So again, hi, I'm Julie. But like I said, painting is my favoriteest thing to do in the whole world. But I also love drawing. I love illustrating. And I did, I self-published my own children's book 7 years ago. I have this little character dude, his name's Project Monster, and he has a sidekick, his name's Spirit Bear, and they go through the forest to find a friend for each letter of the alphabet. It's called Project Monster's Alphabet Adventure. I did a whole social media campaign. I raised enough money to print 1,000 books, and all those books are gone. And finally, in the last couple months, I finally got it up on Amazon to sell. So if you're looking for a fun Christmas present for your kids, check this out. Project Monster's Alphabet Adventure. I'm like super proud of this book. It's really fun, okay? It's got tons of characters. All this stuff is based on the West Coast. And like I said, Project Monster goes through each letter of the alphabet and finds a friend. It's kind of a tongue twister, so it's great for the little ones, but it's also good for bigger kids to read because it's just really fun to read. And starting in the new year, now that I finally have a webcam, I was planning on doing this earlier. I'm going to start doing just little tutorials of all the characters in the book. So I'm going to post those on YouTube. When I can get enough YouTube followers, I'll be able to do that live on YouTube. And we're going to draw Project Monster. We're going to do different styles. We're going to color with crayons, colored pencils. We're going to do paintings, all sorts of different ones, but just based on all the characters that are actually in the book. So if that's something that you're interested in, and you think that you have a kid that might like that, I am going to send you the link right now. That you can just order it right off Amazon. Oh, that's nice, Jamie. Ali loves my book. That's really sweet. It doesn't come in French, Cecile. Honestly, I thought about making it in French, but it's incredibly difficult to switch, especially when everything rhymes, to switch en français. I have a background in French, so I would absolutely love to have a French version of it, but I don't even know if that would work, to be honest. Oh, cool. That's cool, Hermione. That's really sweet. Oh, Ainsley, I know. I'm having a super fun time too. This is so fun. So there's that. And then while I was making my book in the first place, this is 7 years ago, I actually made a whole coloring book as well that I didn't do anything with. Okay. So you can actually get that. It's honestly, I'm only charging for what it actually costs. I don't make any money off of the actual coloring book. I don't know why the link didn't come up here. Let me try it one more time. There it is. So it's called the Curious Creatures Creative Coloring Book. And some of the Project Monster creatures are in there. And then there's just like a bunch of like random dudes that I made and different scenes and stuff that's totally random. It's like $5, I think, on Amazon. But you can also get that free off my website. So if you are looking for something to do with your kid, like I've been homeschooling, so I know that I always like to have things to do with Story, my daughter. You can actually download all the coloring pages for free right now off my website. I just put the link there. So you can get it free, but you have to print them yourself. But if you don't have a printer, you can just buy it for $5 on Amazon. That's it. Cool. I think our paint should be dry by now. That was enough talking, right? Christine, really? You're just putting Kevin in now? Oh man, you must be really, oh, you must have, you know what? Some people have been probably watching behind. So I hope that not too many people start chiming in. Kevin McAllister. Okay, so I have my red paint here. I'm using holiday red. There's all sorts of different kinds of red. There's Tuscan red, there's bright red, there's so many. It doesn't matter what kind of red, just grab a red. I chose holiday red today because it's such a holiday style painting. And I'm gonna leave this up to you, but you know what we're gonna do first? We're just gonna put, Susan, it's still not dry, hey? Oh, you just touched it up. That's okay, we're gonna take our time anyways. I think I whapped my stick too much. My brush got all wonky here. Oh, there we go. I whapped it too hard. Okay. So what we're gonna do now, we're not gonna worry about it. We're just gonna fill it in red. So red can be kind of a tricky color because it's one of the more transparent colors. And that's why it's nice that we have a nice base of white first. But it's always nice to put on a couple different coats of red. So this is just gonna be red to start. Just remember, we're not gonna color in the window. We're gonna keep that open. So we're just gonna make a red line around the edge here. So it depends on your level of how confident you are with your paintbrush. If you're a newbie, I would suggest going down to a smaller paintbrush to maybe do your lines around the window area. But if you're feeling confident, you can totally use your medium flat brush here. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to get my brush all loaded up here. And I'm just gonna start coloring my truck in red. So this is, the reason we're gonna do a couple coats is because we're gonna see a lot of like little brush stroke marks and stuff. So just gently, and remember we are gonna be tracing this in black as well. So if you don't go all the way to the edge, it's not that big of a deal because we are going to be outlining it all in black. So even the wheel wells, we're going to get that all in there. Color it all in. One step at a time. Okay. So just get your color on there. I like to save the window part for last, so I'm just gonna do that whole rectangle area that we did first in red. Try and cruise as close to the edges as possible. But if you don't go all the way to the edge, that is okay. Because like I said, we are tracing it in black after. So keep it chill. We're just gonna cruise and peruse. Get that color in there. Go around the wheel wells. You know, we all make little glitches and mistakes too, so don't worry about it. If, you know, something goes out of the line, it's definitely not the end of the world. For sure it's not. And like I said, when you make little shooshing noises, it definitely helps. So anytime there's something like kind of meticulous, I'm like, shh, 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 shh. Really, really helps that focus in. Oh yeah, that's a good. Renee, I am using my medium flat brush for this. So I wonder if I can get it zoned in there. Come on, focus, focus. And oh, that's okay if you colored your wheels red. It's okay because we're gonna color them in black. No worries, it's fine. Just wave your canvas back and forth to dry it. Great idea. And also you could grab a hairdryer. Hairdryer works really well too. I try and stay away from the hairdryer while I'm doing parties because it's so loud and obnoxious, but you know, it's not the end of the world. I know there's other people that use hairdryers to like dry their canvases. So if you want to run and grab that, that's also a good idea. And then, like I said, we're going to try and keep on the outskirts of our window. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a line here. And then I'm going to try and cruise around. Like I said, guys, if you're feeling confident, please go ahead and use your medium flat brush here. If you're feeling a little less confident, I highly suggest moving down to a smaller brush, some sort of like thin detail brush, something like this works really well too. It's up to you. Doobly-doo, doop-doop-be-doo, okay? And then I'm just gonna color this in. Color it in, color it in. You know, in the original painting, I actually made my truck a little more rusty colored. So the next round, I added a little black in with my red and made it more of like a burgundy color. But honestly, I'm like really digging this bright red here right now. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know how you feel about it. Would you like your truck to be more bright red, or would you like it to be more burgundy red? Let me know in the comments, and I'll make a decision on how I'm going to move forward with this based on what you guys tell me. Do you want your truck to be more fire truck red, or do you want it to be nothing wrong with the fatty truck? Poppy red. Okay. So I'm going to assume that's bright red. Mine is very bright red right now, but I was going to tone it down a little bit. So I'll show you the original. So this is the difference. You see that one? And then this one's a little bit darker. Bright red, burgundy-ish red. What do you guys think? Should we stick to bright red or should we do a little bit more burgundy? What do you think? Oh, I'm missing answers here. Crimson, bright red. Monique's using a deep red. You like it a little darker? Okay. Darker red? Okay, Margaret, burgundy, adding a little bit of black. Okay, cool, cool. That's cool. I like it. You like the darker. Okay. All right. I feel like we've spoken. Yeah, that's why I like the darker red too. It does look a little bit more vintage that way. Okay. Yeah, I'm positive I have paint on my face right now. Okay, cool. Okay, well, the general consensus is that you guys want it a little bit darker, so that's perfect. Now, while we're kind of going to let that settle a little bit, we can, so like I said before, I totally forgot about the brown. So we're going to put a little brown board here. So if you didn't grab brown, please do. I have this espresso brown. I'm going to mix a little bit of this espresso brown and white together. It does not matter what the color of the board on your truck is going to be. I'm just going to add a little bit to my palette. Okay. So I have this little bit of brown on my palette here. I'm going to take a little bit of this white and I'm just going to mix the two colors here. And I'm going to make like a lighter brown. I put way more brown on there than I need. And just mix the colors just a little bit there. And basically make it however light or dark you'd want. It's totally up to you, because nobody's going to be like, oh, that board looks too brown. I promise nobody's going to say that. So do what you will. And right on top of our back trunk area, we're going to put a board right on top. It's going to hover right above it. And you don't have to, I mean, it could be touching it if you want, but I'm going to try and make mine. So I'm actually going to use the side of my brush to start, and I'm just going to make a line here. And that way there, I know the bottom of my brush is going to be nice and flat. And then I can lift it up on both sides here and pull it over and just make like a rectangle going on here. I'm going to make the best rectangle I can make here. So up and over. I'm going to apologize because I feel I'm in such an awkward position right now. I'm trying to make this straight and it's very hard. And I'm just going to wave my brush back and forth a few times so that it looks kind of wood grainy. You got this little bit of texture in there, you know? My board just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Back and forth, back and forth. So it's a little, it's got a little texture in it. It's nice. I'll bring it forward a little bit just so you can see. It's got a little bit of texture in there. And that's going to be what holds our Christmas tree in. Sierra, it's just a little bit of brown and white mixed together. So I just put a little bit of white. I put way too much brown on my palette, and then I took a little scoop of white and I just mixed it in over here. So you can see the difference in the color there. It's nice to have a little bit of marbling. So if you have a little bit of, it doesn't have to be perfectly mixed. A little bit of white kind of swooshed in with the brown. It gets a little marbly. And then when you make a board, you have a few different like paint tones in there, and it's a little streaky and it makes it look like a board. And you're good. It's all good. Okay. And then I'm going to give this a, oh, it's still working on there. Okay. Not bad, but it's fine. So the next step, we're going to do the truck again, but we're going to just give it a different hue. We're going to grab that brush. Yes, Sela, this is going to be available to watch later. Okay, so I have my red here, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of black, not too much, even less than that. The black really takes over the red quite a bit, okay? And since we're going to be using this color for the rest of the truck, I'm just going to go ahead and whap that right in there. And you can see I'm just mixing it around in a circle and making a darker version of the red. So I mix it until the black is kind of basically mixed in. You don't have to over mix, just like the brown over here. You don't have to really over mix it. It's just to darken up that red, and you can see the difference. It's a nice deep burgundy now. You can see the difference between the two reds there. So I love burgundy, and it does make it look vintage. So I'm excited that you guys wanted to do it this color. So I just took a little bit of black and dove it into a big scoop of red and just mixed it in a little bit. Be very cautious when you're adding in your paints. You really don't need a lot of black at all. It's such a little amount. Honestly, it takes over everything. So it's all good. All right. And now that I have that burgundy made, I'm literally going to do my truck all over again. Starting at the back. And even if you get a few little different tones in there, so you might get some streakies of black, that's cool. That's what the original looks like. It's got a few little different tones in there. If you need to add a drop of water into your paint, that might help extend it, and it also might help go keep your paint loose and the ability to cruise right over top of it as well. And then you'll get a few paintbrush strokes, but that's okay. That's what gives it its vintage steez. Okay. And just color that bad boy in, just like the first time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Yes, it do. Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time. I can climb any mountain. I sail across the stormy sea. If that's what it takes me, baby, to show how much you mean to me. I really like classic rock, so I just kind of sing a lot of it. Okay, so keep going. Alyssa, yes, this is available later. You'll be able to watch it for the week. And then you can, if you guys want to tip $5, you can get a high definition version of the video as well. I'm changing up the landscape a little bit for my parties, so. And then, you know, if you guys like, I'm still making decisions around all these things, so I'm open to suggestions. If you guys have any suggestions for me, as far as subject matter, cameras that you love, that you had really good results with, if you really love a painting and you want me to put it on my YouTube channel. And speaking of, guys, if you could go and subscribe to my YouTube channel for me, I'd be so grateful. I'm trying so hard to get 1,000 followers on my YouTube channel. It's really hard. So if you go to youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party and hit subscribe, I will love you so much, okay? I'd be so grateful if you could do that for me. Because I really want to start doing Facebook Lives. Live YouTubes. And I know that I get the best results with my phone, but I'm not allowed to use my phone unless I have 1,000 subscribers. They have weirder rules on YouTube. So I would just really be so grateful if you subscribed. And then I'm going around those wheel wells again. You know, everything might have to get touched up. It's okay. if it doesn't look super duper perfect right now either, okay? We're just humans having fun painting, okay? Donna says repeat, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to repeat. Tell me what to repeat. Okay, Katie, put snow on this. Kelly, you're awesome. Oh, okay. It's youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party. I know, this painting's definitely taking longer than I wanted to. Oh yeah, oh my God, guys, you're so awesome. Thank you. Yay, Donna and Jenna and Sandy, you guys rock my world. Thank you so much. So much. Okay. So I'm being asked to put some snow on the trees, which I can totally do right now. So once you guys get that car colored in burgundy, get her done. I know it's getting a little late now, so I totally understand if you need to rewatch tomorrow. All good. I'm an early riser, so these parties are super late for me too. I'm not gonna lie. I like to be in bed by this time, but not everybody does. And generally, you know, we got to keep it to a time where everybody's available. Cool, Amy. Yay, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so when it comes to doing the snow on the trees, we're literally doing the exact same thing that we did to make the trees, only we're just putting white on top, okay? So I'm taking my big fat brush, I'm pulling it back and forth, getting it loaded up here, all right? Load it up, load it in, and then starting at the tippy top with that little side of my corner of my brush, I'm just gonna tap right over the same areas, but I'm just gonna leave a little bit of black showing. So I don't want to cover up the whole tree, kind of like kiss the top areas of the tree here, okay? And as I move down, same deal, I push a little harder, my bristles get a little bit more separated, and so on and so forth. We have some snow on our tree, but you can see I still have a little bit of black poking through there. Now, if you go crazy and it fills in with white, you can always take a little bit of black and kind of poke it in later. And I do that with all the trees. So, up at the top here, ding 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 and bimbling some jingle bells just might help the process a little bit. Okay, I'm kind of having fun now. So you can fill them up as much or as little as possible, as you want. But having that little bit of black poking through the backs of your trees, you will get a much more dynamic looking tree. So it's kind of hard to not cover up the whole tree because it's so easy to go crazy with it. But let me tell you, it really helps in the dimensional effect of the snow on the trees. So really just try and kiss the tops of your branches to start. And obviously if more gets filled in, that's okay. But having that little bit of black kind of poking through, it just makes it look really pretty. Okay. Yeah, you can see the original painting for sure. Here you go. Let's see. Here's the most difficult question. Oh, what? Oh, I missed it here. you'll have tonight. My husband is on vacation next week, so I can paint next week. So if I sign up at the end of next week, say Sunday or Monday, we'll have access to this painting we just did, because I'm going to sign up for the $20 subscription. Yes, you will have access to it if you sign up for the $20 subscription. Absolutely. Donna, indeed. Oh, Ainsley, you're probably gonna have to come back. I'm sorry. You definitely should go eat though. So, I mean, the rest of the painting, we're gonna finish the trees. We're gonna put a tree in the truck, and then we're also gonna make our lines in the truck, and then we're just gonna make a couple little bits of snow. So I'm gonna say we've got another half hour left here. Oh, thanks guys. I'm really well, I have to read your questions. Yeah, Liz, say, come on, everyone, just subscribe. I just did, can't wait. Awesome, you guys are rocking my world right now. Okay, so you can see, I'm just tapping it in. Now, like I said, if you fill up your whole tree with white, that's cool. You can always take a little bit of black and kind of cruise over it. That's another way that's totally acceptable to do this. And you can add a little bit extra snow, you can take away snow. You kind of just got to feel it out. Just feel it out, friends. And then you can always go back to the original post and reference the painting there if you need to. Okie dokie. All right, where are we at here? Okay, well, since we're kind of working on the trees, why don't we put our big old tree in our truck now? So I'm just gonna rinse my brush because it has white on it, because we're gonna actually make our tree black inside of our truck. Now, hindsight, if you had a little green, it might actually be nice to do a green tree in the truck too. I'm just throwing it out there because it's kind of nice to have different options. Even if you threw a little bit of green inside your black just to kind of tint it a little bit, that would also be really beautiful. So what I'm gonna do, I clean my brush, it's nice and clean. I'm gonna throw some black on there, whatever I have left on this palette here, a little bit of black. And then you gotta decide where your tree's gonna live. So we're getting a big honking tree, and the stem is gonna start about halfway up here, and we don't want it to cover up our truck. So I'm gonna cruise down, and we do need some room for branches too. So if you start up here and leave a little bit of space between your truck and your, I'm calling it a branch, but it is a trunk, between the truck and the trunk. Try saying that 3 times fast. If you leave like maybe a ½ inch in between there, then you'll have a room for a few extra branches, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start up here, about halfway up my truck, and I'm gonna make the trunk of the tree that goes down right about there. Okay, here, I'll get a little closer. A little closer. Here we go. That's gonna be my tree trunk, friends. And you can see there's a nice little space between the trunk and the truck. The trunk and the truck, the trunk and the truck. That kind of sounds like a train. The trunk and the truck, the trunk and the truck, the trunk and the truck. Choo-choo. And then I'm gonna make my tree exactly how I made all of my other trees. It's a little trickier because you have to do it on the side, okay? But, you know, I'm like this. If I can do it straight up, you are more than welcome to turn your canvas. You don't have to do it exactly like standing up straight. You can absolutely give your canvas a turn, switcherooskies to make this a little bit easier. So, you know, it's a little easier to do it straight. But starting right here, just with the little corner of my brush, I'm gonna start tapping back and forth. And same deal. Oh, this is definitely a little more challenging. I'm gonna tap back and forth And you can see I'm just doing it nice and slow. And I'm going to make some space. For my tree. And obviously it's okay if it overlaps your truck a little bit, because that's the nature of getting a tree at Christmas time. Gets all over your car or your truck or whatever you're driving. I drive a Honda Fit and it fits everything, and I use it like a little truck, but I don't suggest that. This summer, me and my husband went and got a bunch of mulch and we used my car, and I'm so bad that there's still like a bunch of mulch in my car, so that's not good. Anyways, so you need to use your style, use the same kind of tree style that you used in your other trees. And I'm going to overlap over top of my wooden trunk here a little, or my wooden piece here a little bit, but I'm going to still let a little bit poke through. And I think that's going to be my tree here. Hannah, I literally used just the little tip of my corner to start the tree off. Really, really gentle up here. I put little dots back and forth, little. And then as I move down, I just use a little bit more of my brush as I move down. And I start to push a little harder so that those bristles get a little bit more separated. And I fill it in. And I'm going to put some snow on this tree later, so I'm not overly concerned about what it looks like right now. Whoa, Danielle, that's amazing. 18 feet? How do you, that's nutso. You must have a really beautiful home. That's a honkin' big tree. Sounds really magical. I love magic. I love the magic of the holidays. I'm a total sucker for it. I'm all about the nostalgic feelings of all the seasons. So I'm really excited about this. Okay, so we made that tree. And now that we have all our trees on there, I'm going to finish putting the snow on my other trees. So I'm going to whap some more white on my paintbrush and just starting at the tippy tops. Fill it in, make some snowy spots on my trees, and just gently just kissing the tops of my branches. And I always like to start at the back one because as I move forward, there's going to be some overlapping in here. So I always sharpen my brush. So whenever I start at the top of a tree, I always pull my brush back and forth in my white paint, back and forth, starting at the tippy top. Just so gentle. Just nice and breezy, just going back and forth. Just remember, friends, it's all in the hips. The hips in your mind. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, it's about 9:30. I thought we would probably be done by now, but you know, that's okay. It's gonna go a little over time. So I apologize to anybody who thought the party was gonna be over by now. Honestly, my parties never go this long. I think it's just a little bit more of an involved painting than normal. So if you need to halt and kind of finish later, that's totally okay. Nothing's gonna make or break this painting. I allow you to do so. Just, make sure you do all the good stuff. Follow me on Facebook. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my membership. Get your free stuff off my website. So many good things. Honestly, I just love the feeling of painting so much. I wish that this was the only part of my job. Being an entrepreneur, there's so many little things that have to happen behind the scenes, but I wish my job could just be painting with you guys all the time. I would do it every day if I could. Yay. Okay, we got some nice stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Am I moving away from that? Honestly, I feel like I might have just been whispering. I feel like I was just talking to myself a little bit. So if I drifted off, I'm sorry. I'll speak up. Susan, if your trees look too snowy, just go back and add a little black in with there. Or, do a little mixture of gray. Grab a little gray, make a little mixture of white and black, and just tap it into a few different places. It really gives a nice vibe. Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, Donna, I live in Colchester, Ontario. It's in the deep south of Essex County, south of Windsor. Windsor is right across from Detroit, Michigan. And that's I like to say we're in the armpit of Canada. It's really pretty here, though. I live by the lake. I live by Lake Erie. I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's just keep cruising along here. Time is of the essence now. So what I'm going to do next is, so we have all of our basics are down here. So now we're just getting down to the nitty-gritty details. We have to give our truck some wheels and a few, details. And we just have to put a few I keep wanting to say snow caps, but that's not what it is. Snow hills in there, like the truck is kind of buried in the snow a little bit, and then we're good to go. So let's keep this party rolling. So what I'm going to do now, I actually need to add a little extra black to my... Okay, little extra black. Oh, José, oui, tu peux regarder the original here. So in the trees, I actually, when I dabbed in a little extra black, it mixed in with the white a little bit. So it made it look really light. So it actually looks pretty nice. If you don't just let the black kind of cruise through the background, you can let when you put the white on top, when you add a little bit of black, if your white is still wet, you'll get some gray marks there, which looks really pretty. Cool. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to do some wheels here. So, I got my smaller flat 1/2-inch brush again. And what's going to happen is we don't see the whole wheel in the middle. Our wheels actually come out about halfway down our hubcaps here. Well, I call them hubcaps, but I'm sure that's not what they're called. Wheel wells? Wheel wells. So that's a little different. So I'm just going to load my brush up with some black. And this might be a little bit tricky, so just take your time. So I'm going to put my brush straight on the canvas here. And I'm going to just kind of give it a little bit of a turn. So you can see I'm slowly turning my brush. And I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to meet halfway. So I'm going to put my brush straight on the canvas. And I'm just going to slowly turn my brush in the opposite direction and then connect my wheel. So, make it as round as possible, but it's not easy to make things super round. And then I'm going to fill in this little area here. So I got the bottom of my wheel, and then I'm going to fill in this whole well with black. See that? Well, Kelly, oh, I'm so happy you did yours green. At least you tried. That's awesome. Kelly did her tree in there green. If you don't like it, just do black over top of it, or just put that white over top and it'll be fine. It's just a snowy tree. You're good to go. So if you guys didn't see that, I'm gonna do it again here on this other side. So I put my brush halfway across my wheel well. So the corner of my brush starts halfway across, and I just twist my brush. And then I go to the other side, halfway through my wheel well, and I twist it the other way. And then I try and connect the two. That just gives me a nice, like, basically it feels like it's a pretty evenly round wheel. And like I said, you know, if you're somebody who can make like a perfect circle, you're probably some sort of awesome art genius or mathematical genius that I probably can't compete with. And I hope you're having fun. But we just try and make them as round as possible. That's cool, Liz. Thanks for coming. I'm really happy that you stopped by. Thank you so much. Sharon, that's cool that you like your green tree. That is perfect. Okay, so we got our wheels on there. And then we can leave those be for now. So this gives us a unique opportunity. Now, you can also change the shape of your wheel wells too. If your wheel wells are a little bit too thick, you can always kind of take this opportunity to take your black and kind of even out some of these areas here. In the middle, black takes over everything, so just go ahead and fill that in. And then another thing that we need to paint black as well is we have our little step here, and we have our bumpers. So using that same brush, I'm gonna make a little bumper over here. So just a little rectangle over here. It's like, you know, maybe a ½ inch, tall. It's rectangular shaped. And then I'm gonna make another one over on the front here. So they just protrude a little bit outside of the walls of the truck. Not too far, maybe like oh man, not even like 1/8 of an inch out. So we got a little bumper back here, a little bumper in the front, and then I'm gonna take this brush and I'm gonna cruise along the bottom here and fill this area in with another little black area. And this can cruise a little bit below that truck too, just a little bit. Right there. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. I know it's getting late, guys, so I fully understand. But we'll get through it. And then we need a black headlight too. So right here, I'm just gonna make like a little oval. And if I might need to fix it up with my skinny brush later. At any point, guys, if you're feeling not confident with the brush that I'm using, just take a step down and use a smaller brush. It's definitely not the end of the world. Okay? Just use what you're comfortable with. That's all I ask. Okay? Sure. Here you go. So I got a little rectangle over here, a little rectangle here, and then right between the wheel wells, a little black well, just a little area on the bottom there. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Now, I think we're pretty much at one of the harder parts here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my long skinny brush. And whenever I use my long skinny brush, I always add water in with my paint. So I have my black here, and I'm just going to add a few drops of water. So I added a couple drops of water right into the side of my black here, and it just loosens the paint up. And when my detail brush or my liner brush is nice and full of liquidy paint, I just get way nicer lines. It extends it, and it makes everything way more smooth than if you were to just go into the paint directly. So add a few drops of water in there, really load up your brush, and then just in case if it's too watery, we don't want it to drip. And I like to have a nice fine tip on the end. So I pull, I drag, and I twist off some of that excess water. Or I'll flatten. Or I can like kind of pull my brush back and forth so some of that excess water gets pulled off. And then check it out, I got like this nice little tip. I'm like all full of paint here. And then I'm ready to do some outlining. So take your time. No rush, okay? I'm just gonna go around the whole truck and outline all the lines. Often, you know, it's nice to have a little anchor with your hand. Make sure this is good in there. So I will either use my pinky finger as an anchor. Just gotta make sure that my brush is gonna work for me here. Use my finger as an anchor and just start slowly going around the edges of your truck. And as you can hear, I really love making shooshing noises. The shoosh makes everything okay. All right, so shoosh away. Now, if this is stressing you out hardcore, you can totally cheat and grab like a Sharpie, some sort of really good pen. Sharpie is usually the go-to though. And then you can obviously trace your lines that way too, if that would make you feel better. I'm in quite an awkward position, so I'm just really trying to do the best I can so that you guys can see what's going on here. And like I said, I'm just cruising around the lines, around the corner, around the country. Down, down, we're on our way, the convenience stores of Speedway. Okay. And yeah, I mean, there's not like a whole lot going on here, but it does take some time. You know, you can, like I said earlier, you know, kind of make your canvas work for you. So if you need to twist and turn your canvas to, you know, make sure your hand's in the right position, that's cool. There's no shame in that. Just make it work for you. It's all good. All right, cool, cool. I'm gonna put a little area here, so my board's gonna have a couple little nail holes, and I'm gonna put a couple little sticks holding up my board here. Eh? What's yeah, okay. Oh, good, Heidi. Heidi's cruising ahead. That's awesome. And yes, you can do it with a Sharpie if you want. It'll look a little different because it has a different, the Sharpie's a little shiny and the paint's a little more matte colored, but that's okay. I mean, what are you gonna do? If you're feeling more confident with that, you should definitely do that. Okay, so the door of this truck is gonna start on the very end of my my truck cab here and go down. So I'm just gonna make as thin of a line as possible, and I'm gonna cruise down from the far side of this door place here, cruise down there, and then right where the window ends, I'm gonna cruise down there. And then I'm just gonna put a little door handle too. So right here, just a little line, a little meet. And that's all good. Here we go, put that there. Okay, so once everything's highlighted, sorry guys, I'm probably gonna cruise a little bit quicker now that we're getting towards, getting a little bit late. I'm gonna use my long skinny brush again, and I'm just gonna add little globs of snow to certain areas. So I take nice scoops. You can use your skinny brush or your medium flat brush too, the 1/2 inch brush. And with some texture, I just kind of gloop on, because I like snow to be gloopy. Just little mountains of snow in the crevices of my vehicle. So wherever you feel like snow would have accumulated, a little bit on top here, and you can just like tap and dab. And then we got some snow on the hood here. It's really been parked here for a while. Somebody got really stuck, and it can go over the lines that we made. And then we got a little snow on the headlight here and on the bumpers. The wheel well, I'm just gonna just gently tap, you know, like just a little mound of snow. There's no wrong way to do this. I like it to kind of be a little taller in the middle, and then it tapers out on the sides a bit. And then on all the wheel wells here, I'm just gonna get in there and do that on all the bumpers in the back. I'm just tapping my brush. Tap, 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 taparoo. And I also have, I'm using my skinny brush because our wheels obviously need wheel holes here. So in the middle of my wheels, I'm just gonna put a little white circle in the center of each. There we go. Try to make it even, you know, like relatively even. And then we need just a few highlights. Oh, I need a little bit of snow on the window here too. So just tap it in. Tap, tap. Oh, thanks, Missy. Thanks, Gina. I really appreciate you guys showing up. I fully understand. It's late. It's getting late. I want to finish this before 10. So let's get it done, okay? And then There's going to be little spots where there's highlights too. So like my bumper can have a little white highlight around the edges. My wheels can have little white highlights too, just around the bottom here. You can let them fade out a little bit. A little on the top here, bumper back here. You know, you can just add little white lines in random places. Oh, and like on the tops of the wheel wells too, like right here where it would be shiny. Over here. And also our window is painted white, but if you want to just add just a little gray or something to your paintbrush and kind of give it a squiggle in there. That's cool too. Ooh, can't forget to build it up in these corners here too. Need some snow down here. I'm going to put a couple little lines in my steps here and a little bit of snow over here too. You know, so you just put snow in whatever places that you can possibly find. You know, do your best to kind of just think to yourself, like, where would the snow be? Should I put it there? Do I need more tree? So I'm just going to take, I can add some more tree kind of poking out the bottom here too. Make sure that it's like, you know, you go back in. Everything always comes together when you take a step back from your painting and you just say, oh, something's missing there or something is missing here. I could really use another tree, or I could use a little bit more snow on my vehicle, maybe some extra lowlights or highlights. That's something that you don't really know. Sometimes it takes like a sleep, and when you go back to it, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm missing something there. Okay, so we're getting to the last step here. What I would like to do is just smooth out some of the edges under my trees. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a little bit of white, and it's like maybe even just a smidge of black. So I have just like, you can see this tiny little glob of black right on the corner of my brush. And that's just so there's still some streakies in my snow when I do this. I'm gonna take my brush and kind of give it a little swoop over my tree area here. And just try to gently kind of work that snow in. Like my trees are a little bit more buried in the snow here. So I kind of go a little bit over the bottoms of the trees. Okay, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna make a big old snow pile here. So I'm gonna grab a big scoop of white, just a big old scoop of white. And right here, I'm gonna make a nice big snowbank. Bring it down, and I'm gonna cruise it right along this wheel so that it looks like the truck is stuck. And then right at the bottom of this snowbank, I'm just gonna take my brush and just go shroom, 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 shroom. Just kind of gently swoop it out like it got faded into the snow there. And I'm gonna do, you know, maybe pull it across a little bit more over here so it really looks like both wheels are stuck in the snow. So I'm just taking my brush and wiggling it. I just grab some white, put it straight on the canvas, and I wiggle it just around a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. Wanna see you wiggle it. Okay. And put a few little snowy skid lines in there. You can also add a little bit of shadow underneath of your truck. So if you just grab a little bit of this, a little darker gray, oops, and kind of swoop under there a little bit just to give it a little bit of a shadow effect. That's not necessary, that's just extra if you want to do that. Since we already went through all the trouble of coloring our truck, there's no sense in doing it again, but you can. You know, sometimes I try my best to not have to do something twice, but sometimes it just happens. So if you end up going over a spot, you know, you just have to go back over it, give it another go, color it in, add some extra highlights in there. It's all good. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can swoop in a little bit of extra blue with your snow. Add some extra, like, dimensions in there. Love that blue. Just swoop in tiny little bits of blue. You can really work on this piece for quite a long time, obviously, because we've been doing it forever. Oh, thanks, guys. Okay, well, I can see that everybody's getting tired. I fully understand. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Donna. I don't want just a picture of your painting. I want you to be like this with your painting, okay? I want a nice, sweet picture. And with that, you need to give me the permission to share it because I'd be so excited to share that with everybody, okay? Now, final steps. Let's take a look-see here. We have our stars. You can add more stars if you want. You can add more snow. Add little details into the wheel wells. You can put some dots in there to make them look more wheelie. You can make your trees bigger. You can add more detail into them. You can add more snow, and more snow into the truck. Heck, if you're feeling fancy, put a little Santa Claus in there cruising in the sky. This painting is yours, and I'm so excited to see your paintings, guys, okay? So please, 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 when you're done, let me just get here. I need to reload this for a second. So when you're done with your paintings, I would be so super grateful. Let me get in here a little bit. I'd be so super grateful if you sent me a picture of your painting. I do have a public group, so if you go to my Julie's Paint Party page, I have a Julie's Paint Party public group where you can just pop in there. There's lots of amazing support in there. So if you post a painting, there's definitely going to be people that chime in and tell you how amazing you did on it. And then I also have a private group too. So unless you're a member, a part of my membership, you can be in that group, and that's where our membership is held. So if that's something that you're interested in, just go to juliespaintparty.com/membership, and you'll get all the information you need. Like I said, for 20 bucks a month, you get access to all the videos that I do for forever. Like you're basically, as long as you're a member, you can do as many. I think we have about, I want to say we have roughly 25 to 30 paint classes already in there. So you'll have access to all of the previous paint parties, like basically paintings for weeks, unless you're a super painter and you could paint them if you do like a 1-a-day painting. That would be a sweet challenge, actually, to paint a painting a day. Is that even possible? I don't know. Sounds hard. And don't forget, guys, when you are finished your painting, you gotta sign it. Put your signature on it. Be proud of what you made because you did amazing today. Now, this party went a lot longer than a lot of my other parties. So, nice work, guys. Nice work, friends. You made it all the way through. I can't even believe how many people came tonight. I'm totally flabbergasted. So, thanks, guys. You should be super duper proud. I'm super proud of you. I cannot wait to see your incredible paintings. What else do we got here? Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, guys. So thanks, Claudia. Thanks, Natalie. Yeah, Kelly, it's 20 a month. That's Canadian. So if you're American, that actually, I think it's only like 15 bucks a month or something like that. It's not even. Ashley's adding snow. Oh, thanks, guys. This was super fun. I love this so much. Just fills my heart. I really feel very grateful to be here with you guys. So thank you for choosing me to paint with me today. I'm so happy you showed up. Thanks, Steph. Thanks, Susan. You guys are rocking it. Thanks, Cindy. Yay, you guys are so awesome. Thanks, Donna. And don't forget, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing those winning posts too. So send me those pictures. Oh, thanks, Jody. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, just thanks, Laura and Angela and Rebecca and more Lauras. I actually talked to my friend Laura yesterday that lives on the West Coast. She is doing great. Yeah, oh, Jody. She has to buy another canvas tomorrow. You know, you don't have to do, this would actually be a really cool thing to do on a piece of wood too, if you have any extra wood laying around, for sure. Mandy and Michelle and Stephanie, thanks guys. Thanks, Jamie. I'm stoked that you came. That's so awesome. Rachel and Faye, you guys are totally amazing. Thank you so much for coming. I just really appreciate you guys. I know how late it is, and I know sometimes it's hard to get through a whole painting like this. So way to go, friends. Way to go. Cool. Thanks, Shelly and Peggy. And Heather and Monique and Ramona and Lynn and Cheryl. Oh, cool. That's cool. That's nice that people watch and they don't even paint. That's really cool. Oh, thanks, Barb. Yay. Thanks, Shelly. Thanks. Bye, guys. Okay, I guess I'll let you go. And I will see you next time. So I have another free party on Sunday too. So make sure you guys get in there and go to my page. Make sure you like my page and you'll see all of my upcoming events. Lots of free parties coming up, lots of $10 parties that you can join in that are more private. So my private parties are through Zoom, and we can chat and see each other that way, which is it's a little bit more intimate. It's kind of nice. Okay, I am gonna let you guys go. So take one last look at the painting here. So thank you. I love you. Have a lovely evening, and I can't wait to see your paintings. You better post them in the group, okay? I'm waiting for it. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.